IMS CASE, Competency and Academic Standard Exchange. What is it? Why do we need it? And how to use it? Hi guys, my name is Ramni and I've been working as a technology consultant for EdTech tool industry for more than 20 years, so I'm not going to waste your time. So in today's webinar, you are going to learn what is learning standard, what is IMS case, why do we need this specification, and we will also deep dive into IMS case, like format, structure, association, and so on. And we will also see IMS case in action. Okay, let's start with learning standard. So basically, in this particular example, this learning standard developed by Common Core State Standard Initiative. They develop standard for math and English for K-12. Uh, so basically, so learning standard is all about defining goals. What items or what goals state wants to cover in any curriculum course. And so on. So let's take example of this. Let me show you. So this is the site for Common Core, and let me go to the standards. So they have defined standard for math as well as English. Let's dig deeper to math. So they have defined what goals to be covered for each grade and so on. And they have also provided a standard in a PDF format. This is the complete standard they have defined, which is also available in human format. So this is the kind of a standard where where somebody has defined what goals to be covered for each grade level, like this. Substandards and so on. Now let's get back to case. So what is competency and academic standard exchange? So basically, we just saw, that Common Core standard, as an example, they provided a standard in a PDF format, which is a, human readable format, but it is not good for a, exchange between system because it is not a computer friendly format. So for that, IMS has developed a standard, basically a technical specification, how to exchange these kind of standards. And basically, each standard, are published by, or authority, and then these standards have a couple of items, like, they have, various items, like, standards and in various levels, and they have associations, like which standard belong to, to which level. And they also define rubric, like weightage and score kind of stuff. So let's first understand why do we need this particular specification. So basically, every state, school, districts, they define, various standards which they want to be covered by each learning tool, which they are, allowing to use, school, districts, and so on. Similar fashion, university and organization, they also define standards and competency which they want that every digital tool to be, aligned to their standard. So if we have a, one standard way of, exchanging all these standard with all those tool, you know, it will be far more easier and viable option than, converting that, various standard into custom format. And this is where IMS case specification signs, which says, hey, you define standard the way you want, and then you store the standard you want, and then you have a some kind of one centralized system, which is a case certified application, where you will provide standard in IMS case specification. So all these kind of learning tool can consume standards in one unified way. So like, let's take one example. Like, let's say, hey, let's take an example, like, like Common Core has defined a standard, and and then school and district have adopted that particular standard, and they have aligned, various content, and they have also defined the rubric how they want to achieve. And now everything they have packaged and stored that thing, and now this information is served by one unified specification, which is like, IMS case model, to all the learning tools and platform so that they can align their content and product to match with the standard. Let's dig deeper. So what is the the structure of learning standard? So let's take example of a common core math standard. Here they have defined the statement, and then they have sub statement and so on. So this is the typical structure of a learning standard. It says which has a document, then it has a statement, and statement also has sub statement and so on. So this is a typical way of defining a standard. So now let's understand the association. So IMS case provide the bundling of these items via association. We are saying, hey, let's take example of this common core. We are saying we have a statement, and then this particular statement has a sub statement. So to do a association, I need to know what is the origin and what is the destination and the association type. In this particular example, we can say this is the node and this is the destination and this is the association type of child. So this is how we do the association within the standard, and the similar way this can go towards across learning standards for the alignment purpose. Let's also understand the rubric. Hey, we have defined the goals, but we have not defined the rubric. Like what is the weightage of each goal, and how do we want for learning outcome to calculate, like if how it should give this kind of a point and how this should give that kind of a point. So basically complete a rubric logic, weightage and the outcome score level. So basically, so this is how, let's assume we have defined, and now let's see this thing in action. So I'm going to show you the samples of public learning standards, and I'm also going to show you the how we can exchange this kind of standard in a one unified format. So let's get into that. So this is the IMS case network. They have, they have already published various standards, which are available for anybody. These are standards which are completely open. So let's take an example of Common Core. So like I said, Common Core has published two standards. One is for language arts and another one is for math. So let's take a look on math. So this is the standard. These are the items, and these items have association. So most common associations are like is child of. So same standard which we saw over here, this is the human friendly format, and this one is a the machine friendly format. So here we can see, but here we can also view at association level, like I want to see is child of kind of thing, so I can see the whole hierarchy here. And similar way, you know i can even I can even use this as a content for my application. Like for example, let me go to the common core and let's say math. So this is a JSON format, which is a machine friendly format. So any application who can use JSON can consume this kind of standard. And this is this is the data based on the specification. So IMS case has defined a specification how this data to be shared, and this is the format. It has C document where we can say, hey, this particular standard, it is based on this uh, file, which is a the complete detail of that particular standard. And then it has items. As we can see, it has lots of item and and each item has various association. Like most common association is like is child of. So we know these are the item, this is the association, and it has a definition. like which subject it belongs to, saying it is belong to math, what kind of item types they have used, and so on. So JSON format can be consumed by any application in a standardized way, you know, to get the product aligned to case standard. So now let's go back to this slide. So we saw example of standards, that, we saw Common Core. We also saw, various standard published by various universities and states, and we also saw, what kind of format, and what kind of specification we have to use when we are doing the exchange. So IMS has defined the, the format for exchange, which I just showed you, that document, association, and so on. Okay, so let's summarize. So today we have learned what is learning standard, what is IMS case specification, why do we need case specification, and then we also saw, the structure, association, and rubric, and we also saw how we can exchange this information from one machine to another machine, and we also saw a real world example of IMS case in action. Okay, that's it. Thanks for your time.